Unbecoming. Unbecoming is not an act, it is not a practice, it is not something you arrive at. It happens the way a clenched fist opens. Not because it was told to, but because holding on became unnecessary. There was a man walking with a heavy bag. Inside the bag were mirrors. At every step, he stopped to look. How am I walking? Do I look strong? Do they see progress? The bag grew heavier each time he checked. One day, tired beyond explanation, he put the bag down, not as a decision, but because his hand finally loosened. Nothing dramatic happened. The road was the same, the sky did not change, people passed him as before, but his walking became silent. Unbecoming is when the question, "What does this say about me?" no longer arises, not because it was answered, but because it lost relevance. The river does not try to flow, it does not narrate its movement, it does not stop to ask if it is deep enough. It moves because resistance ended upstream. When you are becoming, every action carries weight. This should count, this should lead somewhere, this should prove something. When unbecoming happens, action becomes weightless. You speak, the sentence ends, nothing follows it. The self image is not killed, it is starved. No attention, no commentary, no rehearsal. Like a fire without fuel, it does not protest, it simply goes out. Unbecoming feels like this: you enter a room and do not arrive with yourself. You succeed and do not collect it. You fail and do not store it. Life touches you and passes through. The greatest misunderstanding is this: people think unbecoming makes you less. It makes you available. Available to listen, available to act, available to stop. When becoming ends, the doer is free. Free to act without echo, free to move without residue, free to live without leaving a trace inside. Unbecoming is not emptiness, it is the end of carrying yourself. And in that lightness, life finally has room to move. Unbecoming. There was once a man who believed he was walking forward. Every morning he woke with a quiet urgency. Not panic, not fear, but the low hum of unfinished becoming. There was always something pending. If he sat, he felt he should stand taller. If he spoke, he reviewed the echo. If he was silent, he wondered how the silence appeared. Even rest had an audience. He carried a book with no pages. Every day, he pretended to write in it. The book was titled Who I Am Becoming. It had sections: growth, discipline, wisdom, detachment, depth. He never noticed that the book grew heavier, even though nothing was written inside. He walked through a town where everyone carried the same book. Some books were leather bound, some were digital, some were hidden behind humility, but everyone checked their book constantly. When someone laughed louder, pages turned. When someone failed publicly, pages turned. When someone received attention, many books opened at once. The town was noisy, not with sound, but with measurement. One evening, the man reached a hill. At the top sat an old figure, not wise looking, not mystical, just chill. The man asked, "What are you becoming?" The figure did not answer. The silence felt unfinished, so the man filled it. "I am becoming disciplined. I am becoming detached. I am unbecoming the ego. I am simplifying. I am not like before." The figure listened the way mountains listen. Then he said only this: "You are still carrying yourself." The words irritated the man. He had read enough books to recognize clever phrases. This sounded like one, so he stayed, not to learn, but to outgrow the figure. Days passed. The man noticed something unsettling. The figure did not improve, did not refine his answers, did not signal progress. He ate when hungry. He slept when tired. He spoke when spoken to. He stopped mid-sentence when the sentence ended. There was no after, no reflection, no polishing, no archive. One day, the man dropped his book by accident. Nothing happened, no sense of loss, no fear. He picked up quickly, embarrassed, as though someone had seen him without it. That night, sleep came without dreams. The next morning, while walking, he noticed a strange thing. His steps were landing before his thoughts. Normally, the thought arrived first. I am walking calmly. Now, there was only walking. It disturbed him. He tried to comment on it, but the comment felt late, like applause after the curtain had already fallen. At the hill, he asked the figure again, "If I stop becoming, what will I be?" The figure replied, "You will be what remains when the question disappears." The man stayed longer. Not intentionally, he simply forgot to leave. One afternoon, a visitor came, angry, loud, certain. The visitor insulted the figure. The man waited for the figure to respond. Nothing. No defense, no superiority, no spiritual distance. The insult landed and fell through. Later, the man realized something unsettling. The figure had not handled the insult. There was no one there to handle it. That night, the man felt something loosen. Not clarity, not insight, pressure. The kind you forget is there until it releases. The book slipped from his hands again. This time, he didn't pick it up. Nothing rushed in to replace it. No new identity, no higher self, no watcher watching the watcher, just the sound of insects. Breath, fatigue. Days later, someone asked him, "What do you do?" He answered honestly, "I don't know." Not as humility, not as rebellion. The question simply didn't land. Another asked, "Who are you now?" He looked, genuinely, as if checking whether something was supposed to be there. There wasn't. He returned to the town eventually. People noticed something immediately. He was not impressive. He was not withdrawn. He did not glow. He did not explain. He acted and stopped. He spoke and finished. He did not carry yesterday forward, and tomorrow did not lean on him. Someone whispered, "He has let go." That wasn't true. There was no one left to hold on. Unbecoming did not make him smaller, it made him unoccupied. Life could finally pass through without leaving residue, and that is what unbecoming is. Not the distraction of the self, not the rejection of the world, but the quiet end of carrying yourself through every moment. When becoming ends, the doer is free, and when the doer is free, life moves without friction. Read this slowly, don't apply it. If it matters, it will settle on its own. Unbecoming did not make him smaller. Most people fear unbecoming because they think it will shrink them. Smaller voice, smaller presence, smaller ambition, smaller relevance. But what actually shrinks is the noise, not the being. The self image is loud. It takes space. It crowds the moment with commentary. When that drops, what remains is not less, it is unobstructed. A room feels larger when furniture is removed, not because the walls moved, but because nothing blocks movement. It made him unoccupied. This is the most important line. Unoccupied does not mean passive. It does not mean indifferent. It does not mean withdrawn. It means no inner manager supervising life, no identity keeping score, no internal audience. Most people are occupied all the time, occupied with how they are seen, occupied with what this means, occupied with where this leads. So even joy becomes work. So when you are unoccupied, life doesn't need permission to happen. Life could finally pass through without leaving residue. Residue is psychological leftovers, the aftertaste of moments. I shouldn't have said that. This proves something. I must remember this. This hurt me. Residue is what turns experience into burden. When there is no self-image to observe the moment, nothing sticks. Anger arises and ends. Pleasure arises and ends. Success happens and completes itself. Life touches you and keeps moving. That is freedom. Not the destruction of the self. Destruction implies violence. Violence implies resistance. Unbecoming is not against the self. It is the recognition that the self-image was a utility, not a truth. Like scaffolding around a building. Once construction is done, you don't attack the scaffolding. You remove it because it is no longer needed. Not the rejection of the world. This is crucial. Unbecoming is not withdrawal, not renunciation, not disengagement. The world does not vanish. What vanishes is the interpretation layer. You still work, relate, build, decide, act, but without carrying a psychological narrative alongside it. You meet the world directly. The quiet end of carrying yourself through every moment. This is the exhaustion you didn't know you had. Carrying your past, your future, your image, your story through every interaction. Even brushing your teeth, even walking, even resting. Unbecoming is when that load drops, not dramatically but permanently. When becoming ends, the doer is free. As long as you are becoming, the doer is enslaved. Every action must prove something, move you somewhere, align with identity. When becoming ends, action is allowed to be complete. Done means done, no echo. And when the doer is free, life moves without friction. Friction is not caused by life, it is caused by resistance, wanting things to mean more, wanting moments to last, wanting outcomes to define you. When there is no internal obstruction, life moves like a river through open land. Not smooth, not controlled, but unblocked. The final understanding. Unbecoming does not give you something new, it removes the internal weight that was slowing everything down. What remains is not enlightenment, what remains is availability. Life can finally live you without being edited. Sit with that. Don't try to live it. If it's true, it will empty you on its own. Unbecoming is the collapse of psychological momentum. Psychological momentum is not thought itself, it is thought moving forward in time. It is the carryover. One thought does not end, it leans into the next. This happened. What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it say about me? What does it say about me? What should I do next? That chain is momentum, like a wheel that keeps turning. Not because it must, but because it was already moving. Momentum is created by unquestioned continuity. The mind assumes yesterday must explain today, today must justify tomorrow, the self must be consistent, so thought keeps pushing itself forward. Unbecoming is not stopping thought, it is when thought no longer needs to continue itself. The push disappears. How momentum actually collapses? Not by resistance, not by control, not by awareness techniques. Momentum collapses the same way a lie collapses when it is seen clearly. When you see that thought cannot complete you, narrative does not protect you, identity does not stabilize you, there is nothing left to push. The wheel slows on its own, and when that momentum collapses, this is not a dramatic moment. No fireworks, no permanent silence, no special state. Just this. Thoughts arise, but they don't carry forward. A thought appears, it finishes. No sequel. That is the collapse. Life continues. This is crucial. Unbecoming does not stop life. You still wake up, plan when needed, solve problems, remember names, work toward goals, function remains intact. Only the psychological continuity dissolves. The mistake is thinking the self is needed for function. It isn't. Just without someone being dragged alongside it. This is the deepest line. Who is being dragged? The inner character. The one who must maintain coherence, the one who must grow, the one who must improve, the one who must not fail. That character is carried through every moment, through success, through rest, through conversations, through silence. That carrying is exhausting. When momentum collapses, the character is no longer pulled forward. Not destroyed, not denied, simply left behind as unnecessary. What remains then? Action without burden, experience without storage, movement without residue. You speak and there is no echo inside. You act and it does not accumulate. You fail and it does not define. You succeed and it does not stick. Life flows, not smoothly but cleanly. A simple analogy. Imagine walking while dragging a rope tied to a heavy object. At first you think, I must pull harder. Then, I must improve my technique. Unbecoming is when you notice the rope is not attached to anything real. You let go. Walking continues. That drag ends. Final clarity. Psychological momentum is what makes life feel heavy, even when nothing is wrong. Unbecoming is not freedom from life. It is freedom within life. Because nothing extra is being carried forward. Life moves, and for the first time, it moves alone. So, unbecoming is not an achievement. It is not a state you maintain. It is not the final version of you. It is the ending of psychological carryover. Nothing is added. Nothing is removed by force. What ends is the invisible habit of dragging yourself from one moment into the next. When that habit collapses, life does not stop. You still think when thinking is needed. You still plan when planning is required. You still act, decide, correct, move, but nothing is carried forward to protect an identity. Moments complete themselves. Experiences do not accumulate. Action does not demand meaning. The doer is free because there is no future self to serve. And in that freedom, life moves as it always has, only now, without friction, without residue, without someone inside trying to arrive somewhere. Unbecoming is not the opposite of becoming. It is the end of needing to become at all. When that ends, life continues, clean, direct, and unburdened.